folks, it's Darren, that Tassie Wargamer here. It's been a long time between drinks for videos. I was tending to think that I wasn't really getting anywhere with the videos as far as the action reports go, but I just thought I'd show off today's table this is at John's place. John's battle mat, all of his miniatures, this absolutely amazing looking rocky outcrop that he has built out of sort of that egg carton type material that was used for, I don't know, a monitor or something, and he's glued it and stuck rocks, and it's absolutely fantastic. Some of his Martist troops. This was a rather big formation of 3 groups, but they've been copying a bit of a hammering by my mixed formation. Well, it's a formation of regulars. We've got the British and Sikhs. The building compound here is it's 20 mil, but it's fitting in quite nicely with a 28. Because a lot of the North African buildings are often a fair bit smaller. These originally I got for my 20 mil modern, but it's working pretty well. Some tents. These guys here, I'm really liking these wagons. John hasn't finished them yet, but they fit in really well. They're just made of MDF from Sarissa. And as you can see on the table, we've put them in a bit of a defensive formation. Glad to say we're really coming along with a lot of our scatter terrain. With John and I both collect sort of bits and pieces, boxes and barrels, and John's lovely looking mealie bags here that he bought and he's currently painting up. Fantastic, all the different bits and pieces. Some of the stuff you might have seen on my Instagram page recently, some barrels from Whiz Kids. Probably a little bit out of place. This is probably more medieval Europe, but what the hell. Some oxen from Whiz Kids. Horses, donkeys. Some more of John's sailors and Egyptians coming through to defend. So basically what we're doing today, we're playing Sudan. We're using sharp practice, and we're using the additional rules created by John Savage. This is from, I think, the latest Christmas one, or Christmas one a couple of years ago.
Magazine, yeah.
Lard magazine from a couple of years ago. Go sharp into the desert. We're using it today and finding it's really well written, ties in really well with the main rules, and we're having a blast with it. So I'm not going to bother going through telling you what's been happening, other than showing that at the moment the British, who managed to get into formation here, have been doing a fair bit of damage. My gun is still moving into position. Basically what we said is the British were caught out of position, so they were still unloading everything when they were attacked, so that everyone had to get into position. And the only thing that is worrying me now is John's cavalry over here hitting the flank of my gun. Well, I have got some troops coming up to hopefully hold the flank. Really great looking table. We're really happy with the way it's sorted out today. A couple of little boats that John has found at op shops that he's currently halfway through converting, but they've added nicely just as a bit of a staging point for my the sailors that I'm using today. I'll be doing another video shortly, just on an update of bits and pieces I've been working on recently. Thanks for watching. Well, folks, game's over. John's Sudanese got down to 1 force morale, and we shook on it. John's main force, with his level 3, quite early, they charged my regulars who were here and just got obliterated and forced to retire. Took some heavy losses. John's cavalry forced my gun crew to run away. They then overran and attacked some of my regulars here. But actually the regulars end up winning the fisticuffs and sending the camels away. So that if it had continued, there would have been a bit of a battle here. John's larger group, who are now over here in the river, attacked my small group of skirmishers here, which allowed my regulars, especially my brave Sikhs, to come round, hit them in the rear, wipe them out. We've realised what happened here was John was forced to retreat 18 inches, which took him into the river. However, John's troops didn't have a lot of a shock That was simply the reaction from the fisticuffs. So what we've decided that's going to happen next time, it may be in the rules. I know with infamy, retreating troops get to decide their angle, so they run away, but they can skirt without going off the table. What we've decided is that if the shock is less than the number of men in the unit, they can decide whether, they still have to run away, but they can decide whether they deviate to prevent going off the table. However, if their shock is more than the number of men, they are simply going to run off the table. I had some dawdlers over here. The officer ended up stepping in dog poo, which reduced his his level to 0, and they were moving so slowly. Every time they moved, I was rolling really low. So they're my sailors and Egyptians. Didn't even fire a shot in anger. Likewise, John's rifles, his only unit with rifles, sat up in the rocks here for a while, couldn't get a shot in, finally decided to close. And likewise here, they kept their powder dry, haven't fired a shot in anger. So win to the British. They managed to hold the town. In the end, if it kept going, my guys over here probably would have eventually got rid of the cavalry, or the camelry. And these guys here were still looking okay. I lost a fair bit on that first unit, but my Sikhs were looking strong. So it was a win to the British. Great game. Thanks, John Savage, for the great rules. And see you again soon.